I started installing the Digidash system, and one of the first things that needs to be done is to install the speed sensor. So what I did up here in the front driver's wheel is I took some 90-degree angled aluminum, and I cut it about 1 inch wide, and then I cut, this is about 1.5 inches, and that's 1 inch this way, and I cut it to size, drilled the hole, which was a 1/2 inch, the size of the actual speed sensor, and it's got a 9-lock nut on each side. And then I drilled into the upright and used a 1032 tap to put in 2 bolts threaded right in there with split washers, and that's nice and secure. One of the biggest things you want to make sure is that this thing isn't going to vibrate and move away from where the magnets are going to go. Now, the distance in there, it's got to be pretty tight. I did not put the magnets on yet. They stick on there by themselves, and then along the edge I'm going to put some 2-part body panel glue, which will stick them right on there 180 degrees apart. It's interesting, on the pack of magnets they say do not eat, will cause death. I have to do a little research on that and find out why eating a magnet will cause death, so that's something to come up later. So then I put the wheel at its furthest distance away from here, so I assured that I had enough line, and right now it's there. It's all the way turned to the left. And then I again drilled into the lower A-arm, tapped it with a 1032, and then just bolted that right up so that line won't go anywhere. And then I put in a hole the size of the grommet right through the chassis for the speed sensor line to go through up into the footwell. This will not fit through that hole when the grommet's in there. It fits through the hole and it fits through the grommet, but when the grommet doesn't have any flexibility, it won't go through. So then I will put the grommet in and then secure this line here again also, just so it's nice and secure, and I don't have to worry about any issues down the line with this line going anywhere. So that's the speed sensor installation, and that will go up to the harness, which will then feed up to the actual Digidash system. They give you a nice chart with all the colored wires to make all the connections, a DVD, and part of that is for setting all the parameters of your system, because this is going to plug into the back of the Digidash, the red one also, but then it also provides a connector to go into your laptop so that you can program like your tire size, how many cylinders, etc., etc., all kinds of parameters. You can set your shift light. So we got a lot more wiring to do, and this is the actual Digidash unit right here, and that fits right up into the dashboard. I also finished up the fuel system wiring. You got the power feed coming from the computer, and that goes to the level sensor, and then from there also comes over to quick disconnects here, so that if we ever need to take the fuel pumps out, they can come out, and they feed to both the lift pump and the high pressure pump, which provides fuel to the fuel rail. And then we got everything grounded nicely on the rail. Also worked some on cleaning up the wiring. Still have some to do, but it's attached to the chassis, all the way back to the tail lights. The main wiring is secured underneath the rail. Everything's secured away from any movement of the belts. This one's still loose because it's the AC compressor and that's not hooked up yet. So everything's tucked away, nice and secure. And the wiring is 90% done. This will get secured back to the back of the engine underneath the throttle plate and get all cleaned up, but I'm actually going to wait till the exhaust is done to do some of that, and the intake system.